DeFi is about to be everywhere, and for those who want to take this opportunity and make something of it, I've found undervalued DeFi projects. Okay, so crypto can be overwhelming. There's so much to remember, and the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. It feels like there's always an opportunity that you're missing out on or a mistake that you could be making. And trust me, I am right there with you. I first bought Bitcoin in 2013. I didn't buy a whole lot, just like a couple $100s. But today, that little bit is now worth around $9,000. Or it could be worth that much if I bothered to keep my seed phrase when I made that wallet. 9 grand just locked away that I'll never be able to access because I was careless when setting up my first wallet. So I understand the mistakes in crypto. And I think it's actually easier to make mistakes today than it was in 2013, now that there are way more opportunities to make money and way more mistakes to be made. So I like to keep an eye out for protocols that are doing things a little bit differently. And that's when I came across Vader protocol, who's aiming to be an all-in-one DeFi protocol. Their method is to take the best ideas from Terra, Thorchain, and Olympus DAO and put that all into one single dApp. They use the same mint to burn stablecoin system invented by Terra, which means the ecosystem encourages holders to burn Vader and USDV to keep the price pegged at $1. They use a concept called continuous liquidity pools instead of a limit order book, helping to prevent impermanent loss. And they borrow an element from Olympus DAO called protocol-owned liquidity. This helps guarantee users that there's always sufficient liquidity for normal market operation. What you'll see occasionally is a project will gain a lot of users when they launch. Then early investors will take profits and leave for the next opportunity. This kills the token price for the people who do stick around. There was this project that was getting some buzz early in 2021 called Zero Exchange. A friend of mine was saying, yeah, they're building a bridge for the swap. Logan Paul just tweeted about it. I think they're gonna do really well. They're probably gonna even 50x. It seemed like a lot of hype was around this project and it could do well. But you can see by the 1-year chart that didn't really happen. They had the hype to get off the starting line, but they didn't have the users to keep the people on board. Because of this, I was looking for a DeFi project with a popular ecosystem, lots of liquidity, and a relatively low market cap. One that caught my eye is SpiritSwap, built on the Fantom blockchain. SpiritSwap doesn't have the same name recognition as those other two, but based on TVL, there's an argument to be made that they are undervalued. Long term, it's hard for me to judge whether or not this will be an amazing investment. They're still a young project, so they have a lot to prove. But for the short term, I could see SpiritSwap performing well as the market catches on to this lower market cap to TVL ratio. Now, just be careful and please always do your own due diligence. None of this is financial advice. Now, as I mentioned, Fantom is the blockchain that SpiritSwap is built on. Lately, Fantom has been blowing up. Fantom is the 6th largest blockchain by TVL, so it likely could be undervalued. However, there are some downsides that I discovered about Fantom. On the Fantom Block Explorer, you'll see that they have only 51 validators, which is not a lot. Their Nakamoto coefficient score is also much lower than some other blockchains. The Nakamoto coefficient basically is a way of measuring how decentralized a network is. Having a low score means the security of the network is much higher risk than other blockchains. So I think Fantom is undervalued in terms of DeFi and new wallet addresses, but I'm a little bit skeptical of Fantom given some questionable aspects of their network. However, it's hard to say because this is where opportunities are made, where maybe some people are concerned and others are bullish on a project. So that's up to you to do a little bit more diligence and see if it aligns with your investing goals. Now, let's talk about something completely different. The first DEX that allows Bitcoin to be traded in a fully decentralized manner. This gives Bitcoin even more of an edge over a major competitor, gold. Today, the gold industry has a market cap of 11 trillion. But while gold is nice to look at and some investors like it as a store of value, others argue the price we pay isn't worth the potential dark side of the industry. Now, no matter your opinion on the matter, Bitcoin does have some advantages over gold as a store of value. One advantage is that every transaction on the Bitcoin ledger is permanent and public. But Bitcoin has an issue as well. It suffers from a bit of a liquidity problem. Bitcoin transactions are expensive and pretty inefficient. This means it's less effective for payments. Now, luckily, the Lightning Network helps here, but there's still the issue that vast amounts of liquidity in Bitcoin can't interact with Ethereum or other blockchains very easily. That may be changing with a DEX called Varen. Varen is the first Ethereum decentralized exchange to allow Bitcoin to be traded in a fully transparent and trustless way. But this is only possible thanks to their partnership with Ren Protocol, the project behind Ren Virtual Machine. Now, you might already know about wrapped Bitcoin, and if you've heard of this, you're probably thinking, what's the difference here between this and a wrapped Bitcoin? I can trade a wrapped Bitcoin. Well, Ren Virtual Machine does the same thing, but much faster. Instead of storing the Bitcoin with a centralized server, they store it on their network of decentralized nodes called dark nodes. These dark nodes cannot deny anyone the ability to mint or redeem their Bitcoin, making the process much more decentralized. Now, this is a new idea, and Varen has a very small market cap. The question is, will people see this slight improvement to trading Bitcoin as a massive value add or not? We don't know for certain. Currently, their total value locked is surprisingly low at under $1 million. The project is quite young though, launching their token only in September of 2021. This is definitely one of the riskier on the list, but I had to include it given their unique proposition that I haven't seen elsewhere. Overall, the DeFi space is growing and investors absolutely know it. Prices for individual projects can be sky high, sometimes for no good reason. I believe the opportunity right now is to try and find that disparity. The disparity being which protocols have users, have the TVL, have the unique proposition, but the market just hasn't caught on quite yet. That's where the biggest gains will be made. If you want slightly less risk exposure in DeFi, you can simply invest in large blockchains that have many DeFi services built on them, like Avalanche, Ethereum, or Matic. If you want to get those huge gains, then it's all about finding those undervalued gems that just haven't quite blown up just yet. Next, if you're looking for a good video to watch from here, I would recommend this video on screen where I test out investing in some degenerate strategies, and the results were wild. You'll enjoy that one. Anyways, I would like to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.